So, what did I feel when I first heard this campaign idea? When I first heard this campaign idea, I just loved it. I loved it for its simplicity. I loved it for its clarity. It was just built around one idea, and that was curiosity. It's something that we don't think much about, even though curiosity is kind of what makes us essentially human. And I love the way the campaign examined this one idea under a microscope. It was just so elegant and so pure in a way, which is quite rare in advertising. You don't really see that kind of clear thinking. And my instant reaction when I first read the script was that I immediately wanted to work on it. It had such a clear vision, and yet it was open-ended, open-ended enough for a director to interpret it, which is very important for me. I felt that it had a vision, it was very precise, and yet it didn't really constrain, what I wanted to do with it. I could bring myself to it. And what was really interesting when Aggie sent it to me was that it was written like a story. It just didn't feel like an ad. It felt like a short story. And the entire journey of this kid was just sort of summed up. The entire journey of this kid just summed up the brand without hard selling anything. And that just instantaneously made me want to do it. My approach to the execution of this film was very different in a way from how I would approach a normal, a conventional ad film. It wasn't written like an ad, so I didn't really want to approach it like an ad. I didn't want that, that familiar feeling of sameness, the same locations, casting, art, cinematography. There's a certain kind of way you shoot a film like this. It reminds you of other films you've seen. I just didn't want to, it felt so fresh that it felt like it would be doing it a disservice to make it look like another ad you've seen before. So I just didn't want to stage things perfectly like I often do in advertising. I didn't want any perfection. I wanted the messiness of real life. I wanted to find real events, real spaces, real animals, real people who had never seen a camera, honestly, and just improvise around these elements. And we wanted like a film and material that was really alive, and it felt like it was living, and I think you feel that in the film, that it's not fabricated somehow. During the shoot, were there any things that I would do differently from a normal ad shoot? So during the shoot, did I do anything differently that I would from a normal ad shoot? Everything that we did everything we did on this film was different from a normal ad shoot. We just cast people we liked. We asked them to, rent us their clothes, rent us their homes, rent us their animals and vehicles. Literally, we worked with people that we found. And in that sense, we avoided the film production route and, worked more like documentary filmmakers, like you're making an ethnographic film. Having said that, the scale was huge, and but still nobody's acting. We've got, everybody's real, from the villages, from any local spaces that we would be shooting in. We would be working with whoever we could find that was game to do it. And I think that's a rare approach in advertising. Normally we, take somebody, we cast them, we clothe them, we put them in that environment. In this case, we just work with people who are from that world. Having said that, most people aren't even sure, honestly, what's going on half the time. And that worked perfectly for us because they're supposed to respond to the kid like they don't know what the hell he's talking about. And I think that comes across very, very much as a real feeling, because that's how I think a lot of the people in the film were actually feeling at that moment.